Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Test Automation Engineer certification. We are getting started with chapter 8, which is talking about continuous improvement, and getting into the segment. Again, we have one major topic, 8.1, continuous improvement opportunities for the test automation. And today we shall be covering the very first subtopic, that is 8.1.1, discover opportunities for improving the test cases through data collection and analysis. And indeed, improvement has lots to convey to you about the test automation. Let's get started with that. When it comes to the improvement, it's a very common activity to be applied to any kind of methodology, any activity, any task, any process which you might be doing within your organization. Just like the testing improvement activities or process, we do have to look forward to see how exactly we can improve our test automation solution or test automation altogether. Now, indeed, there are multiple ways by which we can look forward to find opportunities to see which area of the task, as it contains so many components, can be improved over a period of time. I can relate this to evolutions. I can talk about things which changes in the operational environment, or it can be the need of the SUT as well. As there are multiple opportunities to understand where the improvement can be done, we would be talking about what could be the easier way to collect the data to understand that how we can look forward to improvements. And of course, for that, we need to understand what are the various data methods or data collection which can be done in order to understand which part of the task or which area of the automation needs a simple improvement, right? So to get started with, the very first segment we are talking about is the test histogram. But before that, data collection and analysis can be improved when considering various types of data with the approaches described below. So let's start with the first one, that is test histogram. Just for outset, test histogram is a chart itself, and the chart basically compares the information related to the previous execution reports to that of the latest execution reports. I can always talk about multiple iterations. For example, if there were tests executed probably for the last 3 months, and then what are the difference between those 3 months execution and the next 3 months execution. When we try to do this monthly comparisons of the information with respect to performance and many other factors, we call this chart as a histogram. It is more of like a tabular, or I would say column chart, and represents the information related to the behavior of the task. Can be on any attribute like number of successes, the performance report, the utilization of resources, and many other factors. So let's quickly check this out. The option talks about a visual report of test data represented as a test histogram provides potential improvement areas regarding the test case data trends. The test automation engineers can decide on possible improvement areas since many CI/CD and test reporting tools have the capability to show different test results, and their respective test data can be including like exception logs, error messages, or screenshots as well. The test histogram also enables the test automation engineer to identify and select those test cases that are fragile and refactor them with additional improvements or by rethinking the actual implementations. So indeed, one of the method what we have just recognized is the histogram, which would be an easy comparison of my data from different executions. And based on these executions, I would be able to conclude that which test cases can be updated, which test cases can be retired, if there is a need of implementing a new set of test case altogether, because there might be changes which will be taking place over a period of time, and there might be certainly need of writing additional test cases. And this can be easily applied to any other information as well, like when you identify error messages. Earlier there were few, but now we are getting more. If you're talking about performance degradation, all that can be compared from this data, and based on that we can look forward that which area needs improvement. Similarly, the next option we have for you is to discuss on artificial intelligence. As being a trend, we are talking about the use of AI to help us detect the areas which needs improvement in the world of automation. Another recent opportunity is utilizing AI to support testing and test automation. For example, in UI test cases, data also includes UI locator values that can be treated as inputs. Recent cutting-edge tools shows the capability of detecting if a given locator is changed from the one used. Based on the ML and image recognition, they can identify the new selectors and use a self-healing algorithm to fix the test cases and include the changed locators in the test report. This can speed up the follow-up steps such as version control and changes and code maintenance, control changes and code maintenance. So indeed, the world of AI is really contributing a lot to testing, minimizing the manual efforts, which might be complicated as well to do manually. And it might not be so easy for a test engineer to quickly detect that which locators have updated. Like maybe with the change in the SUT, the locators and their attributes would again require us to update the scripts as well. So doing this manually could be a very hectic task, and transforming them could certainly help us to increase the efficiency of the scripts. And this is where it is important for us to utilize and see if there is possibility of making use of AI to do this work that is helping us reduce the execution and efficiency, reducing the execution time and increasing the efficiency of the test scripts. We can certainly look forward to AI as another opportunity to collect the data for us, and then based on those analysis, we can do the required improvement. Don't forget, this segment is talking about how we can collect the data for understanding the improvement actions. The next thing we are adding about is the third segment here, and the third segment is referring to schema validation itself. The schema validation can be applied in API data analysis, including properties derived from the target endpoints, and database analysis, that is validation rules for the software fields such as allowed data types and value ranges. So indeed, a database plays a vital role, and interaction to that with several interfaces like API. So if I talk about API, they have certainly different attributes like body, header, and endpoints, which we need to talk about. And databases would have again supply of information and interactions to that of the SUT. So schema validation could be another important thing to be checked for major contributing improvement part, and we shall look forward to understand how this could be beneficial for us. So additionally, with schema validation, a TAS is capable of checking if a response matches the actual business specification. This kind of check can be used to determine if mandatory response elements are present in the service response and if their object type matches the defined one in the schema. In case of the schema breaking, the solution returns the actual validation that helps the test automation engineers to identify the root cause of the problem. So this is pretty much very much self-explanatory. The approach of doing that has been elaborated here, so we can just keep it to the understanding what we really need to have from the approach itself. Further to add here, of course, example is included here. An API has 6 mandatory response elements that must be strings in the response. With schema validation tools, it is not required to write individual assertions to check if these types are string and their values are not null. The schema validation will handle these checks and making the implemented test automation code much shorter and increase the efficiency of detecting defects in the backend service, which indeed makes our understanding furthermore clear that how exactly schema validation would be contributing to these interfaces and interactions and improving the overall efficiency. So point being made is, at any point of time, we should look forward to those aspects of the task which we rolled once upon a time. But today, there might be something else which can do better than that. And we look forward to find those information which can lead us to analyze that which area needs improvement and what are those activities I can confirm or perform in order to get to that conclusion which needs a required amount of improvement in order to add more value. So that's all from this particular tutorial, team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.